You want to start out with BANLIST? That does make a pretty good title.
150% accurate. Fully confirmed. Konami.
Leaked.
We can talk about banning leaked.
We had Konami's servers.
Yeah, leaked.
To find the ban list.
Source. Trust me, bro. What's going on, everybody? This is Mike and friends from the Dark Magical Gaming, Easy Gaming podcast, coming back at you with episode number 3. I hope that everyone is enjoying the series so far. It's been a lot of fun. We're getting back on track this week. First, we're going to be talking about the upcoming ban list and our predictions as to what's going to get banned, go to 1, go to 2, and go to 3. So, who would like to start off with their prediction? I guess we'll just go down the line. We'll do ban-worthy cards first. Then cards to go to 1, 2, and then 3.
I will take the liberty of going first. And
Because you're number 1.
My only assumption is because of what's coming out. So based on what sets are coming out and what decks will get OP, I think like a monster is getting banned, a spell is getting banned, and a trap is getting banned. So the monster would be Scythe, Artifact Scythe. The spell, I think that maybe getting touched. I don't know. But trap it's got to be Imperial Order. It's got to be the trap.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Spell, boy.
I thought I had a spell in mind. But never mind. So yeah, I think it's just like the monster trap is Scythe and Imperial Order.
Bro, just okay. I got my ban worthy spell. Don't worry.
I do. Mystic Mine.
Yep, that's very true.
Mine's a little bit more basic.
What you got?
What about going to 1 and 2? 1, 2, and 3, Tony? What about those?
Well, we're just hitting Forbidden first, right?
Yeah, just Forbidden. I think it's just like Artifact Scythe. Okay, the combo in PK is just too good. It's too consistent. Like especially with Brave coming out, it's just going to be a problematic engine. It's been problematic in the OCG. Like, it's got to the point where like the Brave engine got hit, and then you look at the profiles that have been out from this last week. It's like the engine never even got touched. It's just the package got smaller, and for some reason the decks are still as consistent as they were before.
Yeah, they started playing the Rose Dragon stuff.
Yeah, so now you're looking at like Artifact Scythe. Artifact Scythe, realistically, it's just like when they have 3 responses to what you can do. Like they'll summon it twice in one turn, like back to back. You're like, what are you going to do in that situation? I don't think Dragoon's getting banned. I think like if anything, they might hit Verte. Which by this point is just like I haven't seen that many deck profiles use it anymore.
Anaconda? Okay.
Yeah, like there's that Verte play that sometimes they used to do, but they're not going like Verte into Dragoon. And now it's just like Verte to just go ahead and be able to out that Nibiru token that everybody gets. It's like they out the Nibiru token, they go into Link Spider's Persona Body, link into the Verte just to be able to continue to play, so you're in board. As weak as just a Nibiru token, it ends up being Phoenix Enforcer. Maybe Fusion Destiny to 1, but I don't think
they're not gonna touch that card. It's an ulti in the next OTS. The card's safe.
Yeah.
I think Verte does get hit for sure.
Banned or hit? Just banned?
I think it gets banned because we still have Ref, we have Fusion Destiny, and we're about to get the branded spell, which is absolutely insane. So, like, I just think that card being as generic as it is, just being able to send any fusion spell to activate is too strong, especially since we're getting all these power fusion spells, or the fusion spells are becoming more relevant in the game. In the case of like Fusion Destiny and Ref, so I think they have to hit Verte. I agree with the hit on Scythe. I think a lot of people are torn on IO. I think most of the argument is if we have mine, we have to have IO because the only other out to it is like some sort of backer removal, and a lot of decks aren't main decking it. So I think IO honestly as like people can hate on me all they want, but I think IO's a necessary evil. Like we keep getting more and more power spells in the game, and like we got Lightning Storm, Dark Hole, Regeki, Fusion Destiny, Rev, Mystic Mine is a power spell.
Droplet, Dark
like,
Ruler.
Forbidden Droplet,
Triple
like
tactics, like
triple tactics. Like we have all these power spells, and we don't have like I guess you have anti spell, but that's like only delay. They only buys you a turn, whereas like there's so many cards that turn off entire portions of decks, and like they're still legal, but we got IO at 1, so like I think it's fine. I don't think it needs to go. I think if you lose to IO, that's just bad deck building.
Yeah.
I mean, just bad luck. Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. Like, there was a match this weekend where it was Sky Striker versus Eldritch, and the Sky Striker player was like, "Well, do you have an out? Do you have an out?" And it's just like the guy's like, "Well, yeah, but I'm looking at the clock. Like, he's like, I'm not scooping. I have an out in my deck. I just need to get to it." So he ended up summoning a Conquistador, and then just to open up a space on his
for the
on
IO
his back row, and he set the IO, and then like the other guy just passed, like drew, discarded, pass turn. Guy draws for turn, and I was like, okay, so he's got a Golden Boy in graveyard. He has one of the other spells that summons once from deck. He's just like, okay, cool, like GG. Like, activate Imperial Order, send one of the cards he had on his field to special summon the Dark Lord, attack, and then attack with the other trap, and I was just like, alright, that's game. You're not going.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with decks just having to lose, but I'm okay with that. Like you should be prepared for that. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing that deck, you should know what the risks are with the deck, right? Like if I lose to Imperial Order, well, I better pray I don't see it. I'm not playing against an Imperial Order. Right? Like it's just like that's just the way that like decks need to have weaknesses, right? If you exploit the weakness, that's not your fault. Otherwise, certain decks are just it's just annoying playing against certain decks at certain times, and you just need answers for them. That's my opinion on it, at least.
What do you got? What do you think for Forbidden?
So for ban, obviously Scythe. I think that's just it's okay having to deal with one Scythe because sometimes you'll have the answer. You have a Cyclone, you have a Crow, Call by,
Droplet, something.
But when you do it twice in one turn, then you're asking for too much to have a response to, and I think that's just sort of unfair. Also, I think ban Call by the Grave. I'm sick and tired of it. It's just very like. What's the point of playing hand traps if, like, I get it, it's unlucky, but like that card is just it's too oppressive. So it's either you ban it or you put it to 3. And then also, this is probably an unpopular opinion. I want Engage ban. I don't like that deck. I think that deck is just so dumb. You have an old deck that with one card can tear apart a board, which I get what the draw is towards it, but that deck is getting more support. And with Engage,
linkage is insane.
With Engage running around, I don't think that it's going to promote healthy gameplay. Like you can have all the weebs and all the doofuses go back to that deck, and having to sit across a Sky Striker player, which their win condition is Mystic Mine. You know, like what's the point of you putting up a board when they just go Widow Anchor, Afterburner, multi-roll, Engage, Kagari, add back Engage, add another, whatever, Shark Cannon, and then go Mystic Mine and pass turn, right? Like then it's just like it's at that point like the deck didn't win. The deck just ran out. You just force your opponents to run out of resources, and then just sit on a win condition. So I like Striker when Engage was at 0. I think then it made the deck play a little bit differently, which I was okay with. Then I can understand why having Mystic Mine was necessary for the deck. But when you have such a power card in which you can just keep adding back every turn, it's kind of annoying. So those are my 3. Also, Anaconda. I think Anaconda is unhealthy. It's very dumb when, like, I hate the whole nib and then going to Link Spider. And then
you make 2 bodies.
Yeah, put up another body, and then because I'm not a fan of degenerate gameplay when the same route. That's when I think also Konami sort of puts their foot down on things. That's when they sort of start banning cards. From what I've experienced from playing recently, because I've only been playing for about a year and a half or 2 years, and the way that they ban their cards is, what's the problem card? Take the problem card out. And it's unfortunate because I don't think we'll get the ban list that we're expecting this format, just because Konami hasn't seen. I don't know. Maybe they have. I don't know. Maybe
enough. There hasn't been enough like information since then. I'm assuming in regards.
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm trying to get at.
Exactly. Like the YCSs, maybe like the ones that the side deck host is probably about the only kind of source that they have for information.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it when it comes to as far as like any events.
So I think I also have like another unpopular opinion. Like I think people are expecting like a massacre list. I don't think we're gonna get one of those again. Just because like you said, I don't feel like the information has been out there. Like we haven't had so many reports or so many events where people are like, wow, this card is everywhere, or this specific play is everywhere. We hear that this specific deck is everywhere, right? I.e. Tenny Sword Soul, i.e. Lyrilless Tri Brigade, and all those other decks. We hear the decks, but we don't hear card. The only problem card I think that people are complaining about is IO, but I agree with Korey. I think IO is kind of necessary to do with just certain cards because this happens. This is happening more and more now where you can set up a board and then it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter.
Just goes draw return, Dark Ruler no more,
and then evenly, and then just combo, and then it's just like, why did I even bother to do any of that? Which is why I think which is my opinion on like having IO like not banned, but I understand why people do want it banned though. Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So like, I was just thinking like, everyone is kind of crying about IO online and just like at locals and stuff, and it's funny because like I can think back like just 2 years ago, and like people would main deck spell and trap removal. Like it was a part of the game. Like nobody does that anymore. They don't play spell and trap removal. And so like right now we're in a meta that's so fast that people like can't main deck spell and trap removal and they have no outs. And like I mean, yeah, I've been playing Mystic Mine and like my main deck. Even this past week I've just been slapping that thing down. And no one has an out. Like, they don't have spell and trap removal. It's really unfortunate, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it is an alternate win con in some ways, but it's just kind of funny. I think, like, that player base, like, just views these floodgates as just so problematic. But, I mean, I get it. The only card that I really feel like needs to be banned, honestly, is probably Verte. Like I can't think of any other card that is just super generic and gets you just in a like farther game state. I guess if you have two bodies, you slap them together. Even if you're interrupted, you're like going combo. You can still end on a decent board with Verte, which I just think if I have to sacrifice 2 hand traps and you can still get the Verte, like I'm not winning the game no matter what. And so like that card just allows people to recover. In ways that like most decks can't. And it's super generic. And so, I don't know. I guess that's the only card I could see because I am also thinking about the branded stuff, but I genuinely don't think Konami thinks ahead like that. Like, I can't remember a ban list. I remember there was one, like,
there was a really great,
it was a good deck coming out. Yeah, Hulk. Yeah, it was when Hulk was, they did some preemptive hits there, but like, man, I don't know. They might do some preemptive hits, but it's rare when that comes, and that means typically we're going to get it soon. So, and like the branded stuff, I mean, we get kind of soon, but January to whenever that releases, I don't know if that's going to be the driving factor. And they may want to reprint the cards, so honestly, I don't know what they end up banning necessarily, but I do think that some strategies will get hit, like just out of nowhere. Like I think they might hit. I don't know. I wouldn't want to say ban, but they may hit like other common decks like Tri Brigade or something like that. Just like it doesn't need to happen, but it's just seen some results in the past couple months, so they may think, okay, we gotta limit this somehow. But I don't know. I can't think like I agree with you guys. I think IO really has a necessary place in the meta because I mean it makes people have to build differently. If a card like that doesn't exist, then everyone's just gonna be playing combo and or decks that have this linear strategy, and so yeah.
I think I was talking to somebody last night, and they asked me like if I think IO was gonna get banned, and I was like no, and they're like, but it slows down the game too much, and I was like, does it, or is like the game just too fast right now? Like I feel I don't think there's very many times where I sit down and I play a game and it lasts more than like 3, 4, 5 turns unless there's something like an IO there or something like a Mystic Mine there. Like any other time is just everything's a combo or it's like set 5 pass, and like those games, even if you just get out resourced, like you just lose. Like there's no point in really playing beyond a certain point. So like I think it's good for that reason too. I think it slows the game down, and I don't think the game being in like a slow grind is necessarily bad.
Yeah, I think in like link format, people would display removal cards, just generic like Phoenix and Unicorn and stuff like that. So like those problematic floods were not necessarily bad because there was always a way to out it. And like now, our only we have a mass removal card with Zeus, but I mean, you've got to have access to it. It's like if it's in your extra deck and you can make it, then you can out something like that. But I mean,
yeah,
you have to commit so much to that. So it's it's a tough card. It's a good card, but I don't think it's like as degenerate as everyone thinks it is.
What about you, Boyd?
Okay, so I'm still kind of raspy, so forgive me for that. The first one I have is Scythe, which I think we've all kind of touched upon that one pretty good. So I'm not going to further explain on that one. I don't think a card in a game where Konami pushes the extra deck so much, I just don't think that card should exist. And another one I have that a lot of people have said is Protos. And I could kind of see it because of trying to push future product and future archetypes, especially if they share the same attribute. But I mean, I don't really know if I see it right now. And then the other one I have is Verte.
The only reason I say no to Protos is because like Protos has existed for like sets now, and like it's only now a problem because there's so many decks, I guess, that are like one specific attribute, like Dragon Link. It's all dark, except for
But that's how most of the problematic cards get banned. Like Calamities had been out for years, right? I think, and then once Virtual World started making it a problem.
Calamities was banned before that though. It came off the list.
It came off the list and then went back on the list.
It came off the list and then Virtual World released it, and then it went back on.
Two Dracos. It was BFD Turbo. Like the deck was full deck was designed to make BFD.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back.
Yeah.
They're like, this is fine.
Right back on the ban list.
This is fine.
I think this is kind of like goes back to like when our first podcast where I was like the format is kind of like it puts you in like a you better have it kind of situation, whereas like I feel like the only downside to Protos is that it's searchable. Like that's literally the only thing that makes it like broken right now.
Yeah.
But like if it's just generic removal, like not even removal. Like I guess it locks you out of the attribute, but it kind of like it's decent going first because like you can blind call dark, but if you're playing against a deck that doesn't use dark, then it's not really a punishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like it's really strong going second because then you can like basically like lock your opponent or like clear their board depending on what they're playing. But I just don't think it's like so broken that it has to go. I think it's fine too.
I think every deck should have that broken card. Like every deck should be able to turbo out like a card that is significantly stronger, or there's like a card that is good against the meta. Like people want to hate on Invoked and should all like with Winda and stuff, but it's just like, bro, there's so many ways to out a single Winda. Like there are so many ways. And same thing with Protos. Like there are ways to counter all of this, like all of these things. Like and you just look at like we were talking about it in the chat, like, you know, everyone's talking about Imperm, Ash, Nib, Droll right now, but like Bell and DD Crow like are so cracked moving in the next format because so many cards,
especially
with the bait or with the graveyard, and it's like, you know, if you learn how to play with those cards, I mean, you'll see like, I mean, they have, I don't know, like for instance, like Scythe, man, I'm putting in. Someone's playing Scythe, I'm playing DD Crow, I'm playing Bell. Like, you know, I'm going to think about, you know, different ways to interact with DPE moving in the next format. But, like, I don't know. I think, like, it all comes down to luck at the end of the day. And if you just built the right way, you won't lose to these decks. But so that's why I don't think too many cards should get banned, because I think they all have the checks and balances. Like, I don't know. Dagda wasn't an issue before that. Like, the only deck I ever saw Dagda in before this was Dino. And then now it's like, all right, everyone's playing it. And it's always been around. I just think also one thing that is like super underrated with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is there are so many trends. Like, if someone is on something and they have even just remote, like a small amount of success with it, and then it gets promoted, it becomes, it just becomes like the thing, you know? Like, and then like for months, people are like, oh yeah, you should be on this card. And it's like, I don't put too much like merit in that. But like Imperial Order was legal for so long. And then just recently, you know, like 6 months ago, everyone's like, this card's correct, I'm gonna play it. And so now we're like all talking about IO has to be banned, but I remember like a year ago, nobody was playing that card.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is like a lot of people get like really hurt by getting sacked. Like, like Called by the Grave. A lot of people don't like Called by the Grave because it's a one-off. A lot Imperial Order, it's a one-off. Red Reboot, it's a one-off. And when you get hit with those cards, it hurts because it's a one-off. And I think people just don't like that.
Yeah.
So, but
I think that thought process is fair, right? Like, at the end of the day, you play Yu-Gi-Oh! To have fun. And if you run across a card that's just like, that saps the fun away from things, right? Like, forget about competitive, forget about winning, forget about losing, forget about flipping tables. When you play Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't know, but everybody has their own definition of fun, right? And for most of us here, winning is fun. When you get sacked, that saps the fun out of it because you lose your opportunity to win.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like a lot of players are coming from, because it's just like, you're sitting across the table, you're like, okay, I have a response. If my response gets shut down just because you got lucky, then it's just like, all right, now there's no way I can win. Now there's absolutely no way I can win.
And I feel that. I feel that so hard. Because I was one time I was sitting down, and I was in there, my opponent goes Dark Ruler no more, right? Where it goes Dark Ruler no more, I flip IO, they chain Red Reboot.
And you just like...
I set a card and then they duster me.
Bro.
And it's like,
dead.
Okay, cool, you open two one-offs in your deck. Yep. Like, granted, you're not playing with two cards because you drew for turn. They went like but if that's like, so if that's
something Alistair.
Yeah, like what's the follow-up? Come on, there's 3 cards. They 2-card combo? What are they doing here?
Yeah, and then they 2-card combo me, and like, yeah, they 2-card combo me, and then I was like they had the answer.
Yeah, that's when
I can't be mad about that.
That's when they melt down,
Sure,
and
you
ash the meltdown.
Because I got Red Rebooted, but you know.
Your opponent has 2 cards left.
It is at the end of the day.
Yeah, they have 2 cards left. You just melt down. They melt down. And you're like, Ash. I'm like, okay, normal summon Alistair.
So like I have a very recent example. This was on Sunday. So I was playing Literalist Tri Brigade. In the same turn, I got double impermanent Droll. Following turn, I set imperm because it was against Tenny Sorcel. So my opponent has 2 cards in hand. So I ended on with the Pharaoh's. Okay, this imperm is gonna win me the game, hands down. I don't gotta worry about anything. Sure, triple hand trap, that's fine. So my opponent off the top deck will rip a Desires, and then Desires into Lightning Storm, gets rid of the back row, and then draws into combo. It's just like, you know, at those moments, it's just like, You know what I mean? Like that's just brutality at its finest. And so many, I feel like that's one thing that I currently don't like about the game. There's just so much luck involved. Like no matter sometimes how well you build the deck, you just can't avoid certain instances. And it's really annoying that those are what determine the outcome of an event. Like even at the 3v3 that we just had at Easy, like there were a lot of moments in which that determined matches, games, rounds, and as well as seedings. And I don't like that. I don't like how sometimes one team got luckier, and I guess that's maybe part of the game. You guys have probably played longer than I have, where sometimes you have to be lucky that day, and sometimes if you're not, then it doesn't matter how well you play. But
I don't know, but I guess I kind of just segue into the limited.
Yeah.
But is there anything specific that any of you guys want to see?
I can start.
Yeah,
I think the Tri Brigade engine needs to be put in check. Either by limiting Fractal or Nerval to 1. Playing Lyreless Tri Brigade, Nerval basically feels like Ben 10. And when a card can compare itself to Ben 10, that's kind of scary. Just because of when that card goes to grave, or even just as touches the graveyard, the resource that you generate off of that, it's absolutely absurd. And then that deck, like I've made this comparison with Lyreless Tri Brigade to Drivetron. It basically feels like the same deck, where it's like your Lyreless engine can get you into your Tri Brigade engine, whereas your Drytron can get you into your Fairy engine. And then one of those two engines are the actual degenerate engines. In Drytron, it was the Fairy engine with Ben 10 repeating itself, and then with the Lyreless Tri Brigade, it's definitely the Tri Brigade engine, because all that Lyreless ends on is F-Zero, Future Draco. Everything that's problematic about that board comes from the Tri Brigade cards. So I feel like in some way, shape, or form, I feel like the two decks are kind of similar to one another, where if you actually limit Fractal or Nerval, I think it may help with sort of decreasing the power for that deck, because I feel like I think it's a debate as to what's the best deck in the format, but I know for sure Lyreless Tri Brigade is the most powerful deck of the format, because that board, opening no hand traps, it's impossible to play through. So just bringing that power ceiling down, I think, may be healthy for the game, just so that people aren't. But it doesn't matter. You're still going to get Dark Ruler to even lead in Lightning Storm within one card combo. It doesn't matter. You're still going to lose the game regardless, because the way that the format is built. But I feel like that's some of the cards that we can have limited in terms of that engine. And then for other decks, I'm not sure. I feel like other decks are just too new and too early to sort of really do much about, because the two main decks are Tenny Swords. So maybe you can limit some stuff for the Tenny engine. Probably put Monk to 1. Maybe if you put Monk to 1, that was just absolute. That would shut down the whole Tenny engine. It would be brutal. Because I was making the joke when I was playing Tenny Sword. So if Monk could have been at 6, I'd play 6 Monks. Like that card was just so insane with the Tennies. Obviously, it's a Tenny card, but just the amount of advantages that Tenny engine gets you without even having to commit to anything. I think that's like what's really amazing about it. But it's kind of ridiculous how strong Monk is for a non-effect Link 1 monster. It's pretty insane. I would compare that, definitely a terrible comparison, but it sort of feels like Prank Kids a little bit, where it's like that Link 1 and then the cards in their graveyard do so much, which is it's amazing. It's a lot of fun to play. But then because it does feel nice to break through a board. Like I feel like that deck, like the combo deck, when you have Tennies in hand, you do a really good job pushing through things, and that does feel rewarding. As I mentioned this in the very first episode, I enjoy play through boards. So I think maybe something with either the Monks to 1, Monks to 2, maybe, I don't know, something with a Tenny, maybe a Shuna to 1 as well. That may help, just because that can tutor out all the problematic Tenny cards.
I would like to see a hit to Tri Brigade. It reminds me. It's like the only, I don't know, if you looking back at previous formats, like every big deck has some check and balance, and I feel like it's the only deck that of last format that just wasn't hit or checked in any way. And I don't even know, I don't know if it needs the check. I do agree that with like the Bird Up deck, it is definitely in tandem strong, but I think if they don't hit it, it just also makes the format kind of stale. And at the end of the day, I think Konami, like, they look at the people that buy the cards and have the cards, and in some ways they want to hit certain decks because they want those same people that want, they want those people to get a new deck pretty much, and they want them to play with 3 cards. So I don't know. I think as far as like a business standpoint, it might be a good decision for them to do a light tap to Tri-Brigade. I mean, it has been showing tops in a lot of the regionals. It did well in the last a couple of the YCS, remote YCS. So I could totally see them doing some check and balance. What do you all think would be the hit though? Like Nerval, like a hit to Nerval to 1, or
Nerval or
probably
Fractal, one of the two.
Yeah, one of those. I think.
I think it has to be Nerval. Like Fractal, because like in the Tri-Brigade Lyrillist variant, Fractal is either you're using it to put resources for a normal summon of a Tri,
Yeah.
or you're using it to put a bird in the graveyard for your Warbler or your Barrel Canary. Like,
Yeah.
but whereas Nerval is like, it's a normal summon, it's a special summon off of blue, it's a send off of Karaz, it's a normal summon. It's a normal summon that you can link 1 or you can Swallow's Nest into more resources. Like,
Yeah.
it's just. Whereas, I think it's just Nerval is probably the card that would get hit in that deck.
And your Lyricus engine can get you to Nerval off their rank 1. That's crazy too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't even need the rank 1. You just special the Cobalt Sparrow. Cobalt Sparrow searches level 1 winged beast. Boom, Nerval.
It's crazy.
So it's like it's really easy to get to, and it just gains you a lot of resources. I think it kind of trades 1 for 1 in most of the resource incursion, but it just gets you into like your way to make your it gets you into your summon chicken.
Yeah, like
it's way too easy.
After you summon the Draco, 1 Nerval generates some more double Dragon Lords. And if you've done the combo correctly, you also have an ensemble, which and then the Samorg leads to the Avian Negate, which is, that's mean. That's like anytime that I've seen my opponent allowed me to full combo and not have any responses, I've never lost the match, no matter how many going second cards that they had, unless it was like Dark Ruler. But if it's like regular like engine, you can't push through it just because it's too oppressive, way too oppressive.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
So the situation with that deck is just like if you don't touch it, like the format does not change because barrier statues are like people are not playing the barrier statue, which is the scariest part of that deck. And I know if Korey has mentioned it before. It's just like, oh yeah, the big chicken is good for a negation, but think about how many matchups you would win just by special summoning the barrier statue.
Bro, I know, like, so Tobias, he was on the last episode. We had New Year's party. He came over. We looked at his list. We rearranged his list and we put barrier statue back in because he has droplets. And I was like, in the event that you ever open droplet, like, you literally make your full board set droplet, and the droplet guarantees your barrier statue is surviving and your opponent is not playing. Because you just go, like normal summon, go into battle phase to try to beat over that so they can continue to play their turn, and then you just drop, like, cut its attack in half, your barrier statue is alive, they're taking damage, and they're passing. They are passing. That is it. Like, it is so good. Like, and like a lot of lists aren't even playing it, which is the crazy part, like you said. So, like, I don't know. I just think that deck, it has to get touched. Like,
It definitely does. It 100%. Like, granted, a lot of the times for me playing it, like at the 3v3 yesterday, I think I only full comboed like twice. But the deck is just so strong where it's like, because I went X1 throughout the whole night, and just you don't even need the full combo. That's just like if you play the deck properly, you don't even need to make that board according to the matchups, because the deck is just so well equipped in the extra deck to face so many things. I was playing against a Trap Eldritch deck, and I just sat on Ensemble Nightingale, and I just kept attacking for game because it was non-targetable, non-destructible, and Eldritch couldn't do anything to it. And I never committed anything to the board, and I just kept beating into it. And so I think the deck is just, it has a lot of really great resources.
You just make the Draco future. You just make the Draco future whenever they try to Eldritch. You just Draco future, and then you can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. So
Yeah, the deck is super powerful. It's super powerful.
Is there anything like else that we would want to see, like limited, semi-limited?
As much as I would hate to see it, like I think right now we're in a situation where we have, I guess like not a downward spiral, but a small decline in the meta. Like the meta's not, it's diverse and it's open, but it's kind of boring. Like you got Sword Soul PK, random stuff. I don't know. There isn't like a single staple dominant deck, and I mean, to some part of me, it's just like that's great, but it's also just like I'm ready for something new. Like I'm ready for like something new, and like I know that this upcoming set, the Brave Engine, is going to be the most insane change to spice up every deck, but hopefully it's not going to be breaking the bank.
I don't know. Like, what decks are running Brave? I mean, I know PK and Prank Kids, but like, what else?
Banalize, Prank Kids, pure Tenyi.
I saw that. Yeah,
pure Tenyi because you were guaranteed a token. So, like those are like the big three. But pretty much any deck that doesn't need its on-field effects can like do it. So like even like trying to think of like another example.
I had a few deck lists saved up, saved
but like
OCG.
a lot of like the Synchro Turbo decks, they play it just to get like the negate on board, and then
like that's. I mean, still though. I mean, I'm not trying to like think about DP.
Despia.
Yeah, of course.
Fusion's playing it, like
of course. But if you're thinking about like, I don't know, like,
bro, like dangerous decks are gonna be Prank Kids and Bright and PK.
Yeah. But like DPE, so generic. Like I don't think those. I think at first Brave, it'll be kind of hyped. I think it's gonna fall off, and then people are gonna be like, "Oh fuck, this is really good," and then they may jump on. They may. I don't know. It's also like one of those side sets. It's like a CR set, so I mean, as far as like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's gonna be super hyped, or?
I feel like the Braven is gonna be dominant. Because like right, like in every deck list I see like people are minimum no matter how bricky it makes the deck, there's a minimum of like 10 like 8 to 12 hand traps minimum in every deck, and from what I'm hearing is that if you can put up a negate and you just make sure that at least because like most 2 and 3 is when it gets kind of ridiculous, but if you put up a negate for at least one hand trap, I think that's like more of a an incentive to like play it, because like Ryan, when you were playing the Small World variant, right, and you won the case event, it was literally Small World getting you to that negate before anything, making so many hand traps like useless, like that 100% carried you through the event. And I feel like players haven't caught on to Small World. People have caught on to Small World, but like Brave is much more hyped than Small World, so I think like people are gonna start using that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is it's an Omni negate. So I mean, like in the Prank Kids matchup, you have now protection for your like Pandemoniums. You have protection for. I mean, God forbid, like I just talked about, people main decking spell and trap removal. It's never going to happen game 1, but game 2, it'll happen. But like, yeah, like it just, yeah. I mean, especially as a Prank Kids player, that's like. I'm very hyped about it just because it's going to make the deck actually like do stuff again. But I don't know, like and then especially PK. Like I think PK, I think it's just going to become I think it's going to be a lot like when Invoke True Draco came out. Like I think Brave PK will feel a lot like that deck did.
Yeah. I think in terms of like cards, I guess to kind of like transition away from the list, I was just gonna say cards that I think are gonna get unlimited. I think basically everything on the semi-limited list can come off other than Malicious. I think it has to be a 2.
Yeah.
You think Nest can be a 3?
I think Nessie could be at 3.
Yeah, I put Nessie at 3 on my list too.
I'm not seeing it at anything. I'm not seeing it like do anything crazy. even like with Phantom Knight, like Phantom Knight's the main deck that uses Dangers, and all the lists I'm seeing, they play 2 Tsuchinoko and 2 Jackalope for the level 3s.
Yeah,
they're not worried about the Nessie really.
Yeah.
And then
I put Skullcrobat Joker to 3, Nessie.
Yeah, it's not doing anything.
E-Telly, and I put Mirage Stalio to 3 because I feel like they only ever play 1 anyway. I've never seen anybody use 3.
Wow. Wow.
Mirage Stalio, it has to be at 1. I saw Crush cards. They said Circle to 3, but I think even Circle to 3 is just too much. Like,
do they really use more than one of the XYZ? I didn't play that format, so maybe I really don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, if you summon it, you detach and you get the special. If you use it for a link, you get the special or dump, and then you can just put it back off of the dog.
Yeah.
You put it back off the dog, and so like even at 1 now, they're recycling it and reusing it multiple times in a duel. If you give them access to multiple, they're not gonna worry about recycling it. They're just gonna make another one. So
Gotcha.
I think that has to stay.
All right, we're gonna scratch that. I'm erasing this part of the video.
I think another hit for another thing that we could see. Excuse me. Because I think we could see like. I think we could probably see some other cards like Terratops. I think Terratops could go to semi-limited. Just because not because of Speedroid, but because they're gonna want to push that punk deck, and it's level 3 win psychic. So like it kind of just goes with it. I think if they want to push the deck, they're probably gonna take some stuff off of it. What was that?
Psychic Tracker and Wielder, like, I mean, there's so much level 3 support, like, I don't know. Terratop to 2 just sounds, I wouldn't,
They cannot get that much PK.
Yeah,
I'm playing
I'm playing it in my, whatever deck I'm playing. I'm running 2 Terratop, 2 Takatombo, or 1 Takatomborg, like, no matter what, because that card would just be so good in every deck.
It's a free engine, basically, right?
And just looking at the list right now too, I think they go ahead and ban Hornet drones because of linkage, because I'm just saying you don't need it when you have a quick play spell that says special summon any Sky Striker to your EMZ. It kind of is a dead card, so they might just like hit it to promote that card.
Let's ban Engage too.
Y'all just need to play Crow. Everyone just please play Crow and not worry about Sky Striker.
Yo, I
just want to play cherries in my side. Like, hear me out before you say that, like, oh, you dumbass, whatever. Anyway.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
So, I'm probably gonna end up whatever the best that comes out. Like everything else, I will jump on it. If Sword Soul decides to get a good power bump, like whatever this build comes up, and I'm like, okay, this is what's going to be the problematic. A lot of the times, I feel like, man, I could totally win this matchup if I just cherried whatever problematic card is going to be. Like, I know it's like, oh, everybody's against it, but if let's say you're playing the PK mirror match, right? And your main deck in cherries. Like, you're not losing that match.
Bro, you're a savage, bro.
You're not.
I agree. No, I agree, Tony.
But like, you just cross out.
Out cherries.
Real, like, if you look at, like, a couple formats ago, like if you look at Eternal format, like, cherries was viable. Right now,
we was playing the goddamn same thing.
If format switches to where, like, everyone's just playing the same decks, I think cherries would be 100% a great pick. But it's got to be a deck that can, like, play it. You know, they got to have room. Yeah, right now, a lot of decks just, they don't have the room. Like, PK has the room, I think.
Yeah, you should play in PK. At worst, it's a level 3.
It's a level 3 north.
It's a level 3.
Do we want to just quick commentate on the hot topic card of every ban list?
Maxie, yo, put it 3, baby.
Bro, right, I got my 3 ready, bro. I'm saying I've had my 3 for 4 banlists. And I'm like, I'm never selling it, bro. I've had a guy like the guy that played with Steve and Melvin. He was like, bro, some of your maxis. Like every time I see him in somebody's book, I pick them up for the shop. I had 5 mixed rarities, common, like some of damage. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm picking them up no matter where I see them, whoever wants to sell them to me, I pick them up. He's like, bro, I'm building 2 older format decks and I need maxis. He's like, do you have any? And I was like, yeah. So I go to my little cubby full of band cards and I sell them the maxis. Then I told he's like, you have a matching playset? I'm like, I do, but they're mine. They're by gold. You're gonna get rid of them? I said, nope. Because as soon as it comes off the ban list, that card's hitting $50 common.
It's wild. Oh my god. That card's so expensive.
Well, I honestly don't think it will come off the list. I just wanted to see what everybody's takes were.
I never played with the card. I want to see what it feels like.
I mean, yeah, I would love it.
I had a shirt that said come and take the Maxi challenge.
My worst experience with Max D was, you guys remember that Synchro Fusionist?
Yes.
There was a guy
the hand loop
Synchro
deck.
Fusionist. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm just going to Max D, draw into my Drollin Lock.
Gets decked out.
Cool, right? Nah, I had like maybe 10 cards left, and I'm like, okay, like there's nothing he can make. I'm just going to draw. I drawed, and I can't remember what he did, but he ended up making like the Quasar board, and tests a card past his turn. Heavy slumps me. I'm like, what?
I'm in danger.
I'm like, yo, what is this? I'm like, I'm playing draw to beat you. What the hell's a heavy slump? I had to look at the card. I'm like,
What did you do?
I think it.
Oh my! It's a trap card. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they shuffle their whole hand back and draw 2.
Damn.
I'm just like, wow, bro. I was just like, there's no way this is happening to me. And yep, it was heavy slump.
That's hilarious.
That guy
It's like
showed
if
up
you
prepared.
ace or more cards in the deck, yeah, shuffle their hand into the deck and draw 2 cards. I was just
I
like,
was ready for you.
That's when you're like,
It's
sweet,
just like-
normal summon Alistair.
But I don't know. I think if
Full
that card
combo.
comes back, they have to adjust other cards. Like if Maxi were to come back, they'd have to adjust called by. Like
called, but
like-
no, that would just solidify selling cross-eyed.
Yes.
Mega Tins would sell even more. They have the answer for it. I've told you, like, I love Cross-Eyed Destinator for the freaking mirror matches. I love it for hand traps. Like, I have crossed out more than I care to count. I've crossed out more Nibiru's than I care to count. I've crossed out Ashes more than I care to count. I've crossed out a cross-out. Like, that feeling is amazing, bro. When you open a really good hand and you're like, okay, I have a cross out, the only thing that can stop this board, it's a Nibiru at this point. I'm not losing. I feel so free to play. And even Kevin, when he won the case event, he was saying the same thing. It's just like, I hated the fact that he drew his one of Nibiru, but when the time came, it's like he needed Nibiru to be in the deck. Nibiru was in the deck.
yeah,
Because he would shuffle it back with the Tri Brigade card to draw another card. So it's just like, it's technically not dead in my hand. So like, if they stop my board at any point, I still have a Nibiru in hand. But if I get to the point where like I can play comfortably and I can shuffle it back, I'll just draw a card. So I'm like, it's not a bad situation to be in, you know.
yeah.
But Max C coming back, it's just like, we have the responses for it. Like, you have Ash, you have Crossout, you have, heck, even Gamma if you want to take it that route. Like,
Yeah.
It can come back. I mean, it's divisive, but like, I mean, yeah, we have options right now. And you know, every deck would be on it, and then every deck would have to play Crossout. Like six cards in everyone's deck will be dedicated to those cards. Like, just off the rip.
It's just like three. That is to be what 3 cross out, a called by 3 ash. You have 7 cards total that you can respond to maxi.
But then I feel like that starts promoting degeneracy.
But the thing is, it's a balance, degeneracy though.
Balance, super balance.
Because in OCG they play maxi as a defensive play 90% of the time. Like if you watch the OCG matches, like they'll maxi, they'll wait till their opponent commits to the first summon, triggers the second summon or whatever it may be, a special or whatever, and then like, okay, can I not break his board? I'm going to attempt to maxi. If they have the ash, then they're just like, okay, I'm losing. But in that situation, it's just like, if you did not maxi, you were hoping to draw into something to continue playing. And a lot of the players will go, okay, special summon the first monster, you get the first draw from maxi. They're like, okay, can I make a board to where I can continue playing, or they just set 2 and pass? Because it's the defensive play. Like
every deck has 6 outs to maxi, 7. Because every deck's playing called by, every deck's playing ash, and every deck's playing crossout. That's why crossout's the 2 in the OCG. Like they understand that the card is fucking broken. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's semi-limited there for a reason. Like, but here, like, I mean, dude, I've been playing 3 crossout since day 1, but I'm also playing a deck that is frail as fuck and just one hand trap.
Let me just put a rebuttal in, right? So, say for example, right. So the OCG obviously is very different. Okay, the OCG is what 1 card heavy combo, right? Basically,
for the most part.
Right, I'm looking at the cards that they have. Like all the cards that they have, we have banned here, right? That's one of the biggest difference. So it doesn't matter how many answers you're putting to maxi because your deck building allows you to play 1 card combos, which means that the deck engine to begin with isn't large enough. In our format, the 1 card engines are what? Prank Kids, Invoked. What else? I think that's literally about it.
Maybe Dragon Link. Maybe.
What else? What else?
Sky Striker.
Yeah, Sky Striker. Yeah, basically, right? Every other deck that we want to play other than trap decks requires a 2-card engine. And those decks, the engines are massive. Like, Lyrilless Tri-Brigade, I'm looking at it. It's a huge engine.
24 cards.
Yeah, looking at Drytron. Drytron's at least like 27 to 30 cards. You know, other, like, so many decks, like, the engines themselves are so large, you can't fit all that stuff in. So what's going to promote now is if you bring Maxi back. I mean, obviously, I want Maxi to 3, but what happens is that you're going to force players to go away from other decks and then funnel down the line of 1 card. And I feel like if we do bring Maxi back, we will start to funnel down that route as well, where it's like, my engine has to be small if I have to play all the other stuff. So now when you go to any higher tier events, you're going to constantly see the mirror matches. And that's one thing I don't want to happen. I've hated coming and playing the same decks over and over and over and over again. I want it to be where it's like, as it progresses through a tournament, that's when I want
the higher tier decks.
Yeah, that's how I want it to funnel upwards. I don't want it to just be a pillar straight through where it's like you're playing the same decks every round.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's happened before. Like tier 0 formats have been like that. Like in my experience with when Zoo came out, we went to Atlanta and we were seeing after round 3, it was Zoo mirror matches the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like that was it. So, but the thing is that it's just like, okay, so you go look forward to the format. How many decks can actually abuse Max CA3? Well, every deck's going to have to play Max CA3. But in Birds, if you don't have a response to the Max CA, you're going to commit to a big board.
But you can't even, that's the problem. You won't even be able to play Birds. Because then you don't have enough decks. I mean, then you're going to start playing more than 40 cards. But who wants to play more than 40 cards? You know what I mean?
In that situation, now we just play bees and search it.
You just play what?
Play insects and search it. You can search Maxi and insects.
Yeah, you can.
You see that thought process, bro? It's like play the deck that abuses it. You know what I mean?
It's so funny. Like, when I was at Vegas? Yeah, no. When I was at Chicago, YCS Chicago, I was playing next to my buddy Pake. and he is playing Altergeist, and he like was taking photos of my. I was playing the Dangerous Thunder deck, and he kept taking pictures, and I'm like, bro, why do you keep taking pictures? And he's like, I'm sharing these with my friends overseas because the boards that people make here is just so greedy, and it's just like egregious. But it was cracked because it was like, yeah, you had like 4 negates, Colossus, and like just a hand trap in hand, and just like every single turn it was just like kind of like that. But like the difference between the formats is like, yeah, like they just forces you to be a little bit more mid range. We're here, like we're just all gas all the time. You have to play something with a thick combo. But like I don't know, like I look at a lot of the deck lists and they're not very original. Like everyone's just kind of copies each other, and yeah, it's like huge net deck issue. And the other thing is like, people are afraid to try something new, and like people like will sauce me. They'll just say crazy shit like, "Why are you playing one of this? Why this? Why this?" And at the end of the day, it just comes down to just trying to build something that's a little bit
genuine.
But it's not even about that. I'm not trying to be unique. I'm just trying to, because I'm trying to think of the cards that I need depending on the meta, depending on the locals, and so yeah, I might like play this one specific card or these 2 cards, and they'll be like, "Did you play that just for me today?" It's like, of course I did, because I wanted to win the locals. But like I don't know.
In the main.
Yeah, main deck token collector.
No, the amount of times that when I was like first playing Drytron and Toy Factory, Ryan had troll main, and I'm like, dude, why are you toxic, bro?
Because I knew that, yeah. And it was the same shit when I at my old locals with John Lee. Like he would always be on Striker. What am I putting in? Sky Striker hate. Always gonna have some. Like, it just is what it is.
See, like, and like I think. Like, I agree with you and I disagree with you. Just because, like, I don't know. When I look at OCG list, I literally see the same 29 cards and an 11-card engine.
Right.
Like, every deck is the same 29 cards and an 11-card engine. And, like, I don't want that format. Like, I'd rather deal with 40 people that net decked Sword Soul Tenny and don't know how to play it, or 25 people that play Tri-Literalist because they net decked it and don't know what to do with it. And, like, I mean, spice it up. I'm trying to play these in my Sword Soul. This Uva Loop. Trying to play this in Sword Soul.
Bro, like, but that's probably the truest statement that I've seen. It's just like a lot of people would pick up a deck, but can't play it, bro. Like, my biggest thing was just like Virtual World. The amount of people that I saw pick up Virtual World and the amount of people actually wanting to put the seat time to learn the combo lines, they're not hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's all in regards to sequencing. If you know how to sequence each monster effect to where you can actually resolve your last 2, the only 2 that matter are the last 2 or the last 1. You're fine. But people just don't know how to play it correctly. Sword Soul is like that. It's like, okay, well, I can Secret Summon 8 and I can Secret Summon 9. But am I going to play into a Nibiru or am I playing into a hand trap? Like, what am I supposed to search? Am I supposed to set up a double pop? Or like, it's very few times where I've seen like, okay, I'm gonna lose because I'm getting outplayed instead of I'm gonna lose because my opponent knows just one combo consistently, and that's the one combo that he knows how to make.
Yeah, exactly. That's like what I try to tell new players too, is like the power ceiling of a deck can carry you a little ways if you don't really know how to play it. Like, this one line to this one field, that'll carry you a little way until you get to somebody like in a mirror match that knows how to play the deck better than you, or you just start playing against better players. Because the experience that you have as a player and the skill combined with the deck is what makes you great.
I mean, and then kind of like, I guess, to segue back to the next format, I know we all are talking about the Brave. Is there anything else in Grand Creators that's like really good?
Is Punks? Is Punks in Grand Creators?
Yeah.
Punks in Exorcisters.
Yeah, it's Exor
Yeah.
Sisters and Punk.
Is any of those added supports anything else?
So Exo Sisters in the TCG, actually, like in the OCG, it's not very good. But the OCG, they also have Maxi. And Exo Sisters is viable in the TCG with Time Thieves. So yeah, so because like regulator, like honestly, the Time Thief cards are fucking cracked with the Exo Sisters.
Oh, that's another deck,
You
right?
can. Yeah, kind of. I mean, the Time Thief stuff is one card. So, like, that's one deck that could just pop off randomly, or, like, become popular if people realize that you can play it with Time Thief. But the issue is like, nobody knows. I mean, no one's talking about Time Thief right now. I mean, maybe some people are, know about it, but that is one thing to think about. Like, it's not viable in the OCG because of Maxi, but since we don't have it here, maybe it'll...
I think Exor Sisters is kind of like it's not as good, obviously, but I feel like it's kind of like a Sky Strike, like a XYZ Sky Striker, like because like I think another thing too is like that deck is kind of like a Zeus Turbo deck, so I think that could see play because that's always relevant.
Yeah,
that's the win condition then, right? Yeah.
And then Punk. I don't think Punk's gonna do anything. Honestly, I don't like the archetype. I love the artwork. I just don't think the effects are very viable. Like the Synchro might see play in other decks, but I just don't think it's like a very consistent deck. And then that's why I think they have to bring E-Telly to 3 to promote it.
Yeah.
So, what was the Lich? Like, what were the 3 decks in that Lich? Was it Adamancipators and Eldritch?
For what?
In the set that Lich came out of, Secret Slayers or whatever.
Emancipators. The really not the Leonas. The plant lady.
The flowers.
Yeah,
the flowers.
Flower Guardians.
No.
Crap.
I thought Secret.
Rika.
Yeah.
So that was a side set similar to Dark Saviors, and Dark Saviors had Sky Striker. I felt like Eldritch and Adamancipator were a little bit more balanced, but this set, does this technically take the side set slot? I mean, I know it's the CRs.
Because it's a CR set, so it's a side set.
Okay, so like thinking like that, I mean, think about the CR sets. Which ones have given us any cracked archetypes? I mean, just name one. Like cracked the. Yeah, that's it. So it's like, well, when did Drytron come out?
Last year, right? Something.
It came out.
Drytron got that spike because of Benton at 3, and then it Benton to 1.
Oh, was it at the first of the year?
It was in December, I think, of last year. No, the year before that.
I think this slot is the same slot as the last CR set. So, like, I don't know, maybe...
It's Genesis Impact last year, yeah. It was right around this... It was right around this time, because I started playing again in March, and Genesis Impact was, like, the set that was on the shelves. So, I think it was this time last year.
So, that makes sense. So, like...
The 3 decks that came out were what? It was Snakes, Drytron, and the Bears, right?
No, they're different sets.
Okay, so it's the Bears?
Evil Twin.
It was Evil Twin. Live Twin, yeah.
Live Twins.
But with this one, with this upcoming set, it's Brave.
Yeah.
No, that was Ancient Guardians, though.
Yeah,
that's Ancient Guardians.
Guardians was absolutely trash, bro. It was a CR set that had nothing good. Nothing good out of that set.
Nothing.
So, but like this CR set is actually, I think it's one of the good ones because that was the last.
Yeah, because it's Genesis Impact, which was Live Twins, which had all the CRs for Live Twins in it. So I think that like this should be a decent one.
Yeah.
Yo, if these Brave cards are CR,
they're going to be, especially like at least the quick continuous spell.
Yeah, it's because Nova's got both CR. No, it's the Ritual Spell. Ritual Spell got the both treatment.
Yeah.
So I think at least the main
and both of the ritual monsters, the big ritual monsters.
They already announced that
I think the normal summon girl is going to be an ultra, right? Because the giant card.
She might be a CR too, similar to twin. Or
and after that, we got Battles of Chaos, which I know Boyd's excited for.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for that.
You're gonna get your Starlight Dark Magician next. Watch, I swear to God,
bro. I think we're gonna get it.
It's gonna be a Starlight in there.
Yeah,
100%.
I want 3 of that artwork so bad.
I think they'll give us Starlight BLS. That'd be wild.
Nah, it's gonna be the Dark Magician Ritual. It's gonna be a Starlight in there, 100%.
Yeah, Illusion.
Yeah, because I think I was looking at like somebody like breaking down like the Starlights, and it was like the cover card was the Starlight in every other set, and like with Battles of Chaos, the last set the Starlight was Dragoon, and then the Astral Leviathan, not the cover card. So with Battles of Chaos, the cover card is going to be one of the Starlights.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing that too.
So they alternate it?
Yeah,
So we know like Illusion and the Dark Charmer will probably be Starlight.
The Dark Charmer is going to be insane. That card's going to crazy. Yeah, that card's going to be crazy in the format.
100% of Starlight, because all the Charmers are already Starlights.
Yeah.
And we're going to get, I think in that set is when we get the new Sky Striker, the Harm, the Kaiju one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'll be a Starlight.
Really?
Yeah, they've given both of Starlight.
Oh, yeah, right.
I don't know if they'll give it that or if they'll save it for linkage. Just linkage is just stupid. I was watching somebody test Sky Striker with 3 linkage, and they literally went battle phase, so attack with Ray effect into Kaina attack directly, or not Kaina, Hayate attack directly, chain linkage, link it into Kagari attack, play linkage, link it into Shizuku attack. I was like, it's stupid. This is so stupid.
Can we not?
Not once per turn.
I'm buying Striker Yellowstone, by the way.
I was thinking about. I was like, man, do I need to pick up Sky Striker again? Like,
about to main deck Secret Village.
It's kind of crazy.
Wait for Brave to come out.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think. Yeah, true. I think there's a lot to look forward to in the upcoming formats. I think, like, that's why, like, when Kazi said that they needed to hit engage, I was like, they would never, because they're giving that deck too much support because they know, like, people are willing to pay the waifu tax for Ray. It's like, it's never gonna happen.
That's just my hate towards the deck.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. I went under, like, in the event before the holidays, I went undefeated through 6 rounds. Get the top cut, and I lose to Sky Striker.
Yeah, I'm like, bro. Why am I losing to Sky Striker in 2020, bro?
Yeah.
Yo, I can't wait.
Just like
5 years from now, there's gonna be like I'm gonna make the claim right now. 5 years from now, within 5 years, they will make a Sky Striker structure deck.
No, I agree. I think in 5 years.
Bro, it was 75 degrees in December. I don't think we have 5 years.
In 5 years from now, instead of people normal summoning Alistair as a meme, it's gonna be normal summon Ray as a meme.
Yeah, probably.
Bro, I'm just genuinely tired of fucking Dante.
Dante?
Alright, hear me the hell out. You know how you guys all like Alistair were being blah blah blah. When I started this game, like back,
BA never dies.
It was BA, it was Necros, and Cleese. I came into that format, and then Shadal's. Those were the 4 decks. The first time I played against BA, I had no clue what was going on, bro. Kept summoning Dantes, kept summoning monsters. I'm like, which one is that? Which one is that? What does that one do? I promise you that, like, I have no clue what Libic does. I know Libic is a card. I don't know which one it does. I don't know what Barbar does.
Burns.
I know Farfa is the one that gets one back, right?
Banishes to the end phase. Anything.
Yeah. The thing is here.
If I play against a skilled BA player, I'm getting clapped. I know what none of the cards do. I don't know what any of them does.
And that's what I feel like this is like now. It's like I know Sky Striker is out there. A lot of the times it's just like I know that I gotta ash their search off the fire. Or if not, just hold the ash for the water one.
Bro,
I have not taken the time to learn the deck.
Bro,
where I care to take the time to learn the deck.
Every time I just sit across the striker player, I'm like, I don't even count this match anymore, bro. I'm like, this round doesn't mean anything to me. It's just like, I'm not even paying attention, bro. Just do whatever you're doing, man. I don't really care, dude.
This is the buy for you, like.
no, that's the buy for them. They're gonna win. I don't care.
The most satisfying thing was when I watched Pure Heroes play against Sky Striker on stream. He ends his turn on Shizuku DPE, and I'm like, this is it. This guy wins. The hero player super polys the Shizuku and the DPE into absolute zero, and then mass changes it into acid. That was just like, okay.
all I heard was absolute zero, and then like you were just like cut out.
That's what I'm looking up. Absolute zero.
Yeah, it takes any hero and a water monster.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
They make it with Liquid Soldier though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah. But they made this one with Shizuku.
Yeah. Then he mass changes the absolute zero into acid, which nukes all their back row.
I was at a case.
And I was like, this is so great to watch this striker player just get cooked.
It's like, yo, that DP was like, yo, I'm in the wrong deck, bro. Where's the oh, there it is.
You all remember before the format, like, I was at a case tournament, and this guy was playing hero, and he's like, if you think this is good, just wait until we get DPE, man. This deck's gonna be on top again. Where? I haven't seen a single hero deck. I have not seen a single hero deck.
No, me either.
Tag VJ. Like, just tag VJ in the comment section.
Like
yeah.
Where?
Literally, VJ.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro, but like, where are you?
He's the only one. He's committed.
It went from a deck that hard loses to Nib to a deck that hard loses to Nib, but at least gets DP out the end. Like, I played against.
Bro, I am dead.
I played against a pure hero player one time, and this man made his entire board. Like I literally let him combo for like 15 minutes. And I drew for turn, looked at my hand, looked at his field, activated Lightning Storm, all of them were in attack.
Oh.
Okay, combo, win, GG's.
The nag, bro, the nag.
People are fearless.
Yeah, people got no steam, bro.
No, there's no like, I'm gonna play it passively in this deck. That deck, all it has one green light, and that's it. Like, ain't no yellow, ain't no red. It's green. End phase, and that's it. Like, there's no like.
You're not thinking about it, bro.
I can stop midpoint anytime. Nope, green light. That's it. I'm here in the end. Go ahead. Like, if he has stopped me at any point in time, I'm losing. But I see combo, I'm straight lining it, and it's just like
nothing, bro.
Nope. You got it. Like, it's gonna be one of those. And that's what I see.
I can honestly see a hero player just thinking that in their head, like, bro, I'm just going in. If you stop me, you stop me. If not,
this is an anime deck. This is what it does. I'm playing this anime deck because this anime deck, this character plays it. There's no stopping it.
That's so funny.
Like, just to get back to like what we were talking about though. Like, also I think another big thing too is when we get the all bad structure deck, because like when we get that fusion spell in the all bad structure deck, that's like I've never been like, oh man, a structure deck coming out is going to be a meta changer. But
Salad, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like salad and Shadal kind of,
Yeah.
but
The
salad.
structure decks,
but salad 100%. But like the last few structure decks we've got have been dog water.
Ass.
Pretty cheeks.
They've had some good reprints, but ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the last one was what, Cyber Dark?
Cyber Dark, and then before that it was Wing Dragon or Obelisk and Raw.
No. It was the Obelisk and Raw, and then the one, but the one before that one was the one with the Tamer. No, was it?
It was Ice Barrier, I think.
Charmers. And the Charmers did absolutely nothing, bro.
And
they didn't even give us a waifu card in it. You know what I mean?
And the Ice Barriers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's been like 5 terrible ones, but like back in the day, they would give us like salad. I mean, they were
Dino,
Monarch,
3 structure decks. You had a viable competitive deck.
ABC.
But that's what I'm saying. But like the all bad structure deck,
it's just rock, baby.
If you haven't already got Halliburton wallet, like you might want to get Oliver because that's
just that card, bro.
Fuck it up. Kami will fuck it up. I don't know how. I love this game, but like something about it, something will happen. I don't know what.
They're gonna put it in Ghosts from the Past 3.
Yeah.
like the fairy structure deck.
And again, that's the thing that's driving me insane is like they keep announcing product. I get it. I get COVID. I get the shortages. I understand all this, but like, man, like it's crazy. Like when they're doing these product delays and we're like traveling like for Pasadena and stuff, like I was just distraught when they're like, all right, no Brave Engine. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad I just dropped like, a bunch of money to play this deck. Now I can't even do that. But then it got canceled, which we didn't even talk about tonight, but that's a whole other saga.
I hope Vegas doesn't get canceled.
Like, I was just really upset. Well, first off, because I'm like, all right, like, we had already planned everything ahead of time for Pasadena, and I was just like, all right, cool. Like, I'll be coming back into the country Friday. I'm going to be here for a couple of days, and then I fly back out the following Friday. So, like, I won't even have time. Like, right now, bro, I'm beat. I am tired as crap. But
I mean, you just went 2 weeks backpacking in Europe. You should be tired.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm like, but now that that's getting, I don't know, bro. I just hope in-person events don't get canceled for regionals.
Me too.
I honestly think Pasadena is going to be the last one that gets canceled. Like, the last big event that gets canceled. I don't think Vegas will get canceled because even, like, when peak pandemic was happening, Vegas was like, nah, Vegas open.
Vegas is and Konami even, like, so the way that they responded to it, like, on Twitter, they're just like, this is our premiere comeback to IRL playing, and it's all on. Like, I mean, they pretty much were just, pretty much saying this is out of our control. We really wanted to do this because, but also, I don't know, like, as a company, I don't know. They seemed like they were putting the blame somewhere where it shouldn't be. Like, at the end of the day, they did call it. I don't know. It's all very time sensitive, but like Vegas, like they're gonna make sure that it happens because it sounds like they're just going off of whatever local government's doing. And Vegas, that's a wild ass place, man. Like they will do anything there. I mean, I've seen people going to Vegas just for the weekend, and I'm like, man, like these people. I mean, I don't want anyone getting sick, but like that's definitely one place I'd definitely be careful, y'all. It's Vegas, man.
I'm wearing a mask everywhere I go. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, same.
Hand sanitizer. I'm touching my cards. You ain't touching my cards. Like I don't care. I'll do that because that's when I went to the Otaku Con. It was right when it was like ended up like being like the same weekend that the Delta variant started firing up, and they had the rules. You're not allowed to touch your opponent's deck. If you want to cut, you tell your opponent to cut. Your opponent has to cut. Like and.
Bro.
You know what?
I don't think anybody that I mean, granted, I don't know everybody, but everybody I did know, nobody had nobody got COVID after that. So, like,
so one thing that I took away from this, like my little backpacking trip, that in Italy, to go to some restaurants, you have to have a negative COVID test within 24 hours.
Mhm.
Some is 36, max is 72.
Oh my god.
Bro, I have taken 7 COVID tests in the last 2 weeks and 3 days. Like, my nose is destroyed. Like, if somebody was to look down my nostril right now, it'd be raw. Like, I'm like, if Konami's like, hey, listen, guys, we're going to have Vegas, but you just need to show up with a negative COVID test within 24 hours, a rapid test, I'm completely cool with that.
Nah, I mean, that's
But-
fine.
I'm like, it'll make me feel better knowing that with at least 24 hours, you didn't have COVID. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm like, it also do something else for the community to where like, okay, now we don't have to be as careful, but if somebody's not wearing a mask, at least we know that within the last 24 hours before they came into the building, they were tested negative.
yeah.
Like, that's something that I took away that was mainly, it's just like, bro, it sucked. Don't get me wrong, having to wait in line for an hour and a half, 2 hours to get tested every time. But 30 minutes, I had my reassurance and I could go into any restaurant, like, just to get anything to eat because of I had my COVID test showing negative. And then I took one before I came back into the country. And then they gave me another one that I took at home. It also tested negative. And then they told me to wait 3 days and retest just in case. But, bro, like, negative there, negative here. I'm like, 3 days I'll still be negative. I have no symptoms or whatever. But this, I don't know, man. If we no longer have YCSs or big events, I don't play for regionals, bro. Like, regionals are fun. Don't get me wrong. But YCSs and Nats make Yugi that much worth it, you know?
Yeah.
What's the point in me investing in regionals trying to grind for points for what? Trying to grind for invite if there's not going to be a nationals. Like, Konami has to understand that, like, the same effect that Magic the Gathering has now, because they stopped doing bigger events. Everything went online. Most of their online sales spiked a lot harder. Like, I know Konami might not care, because microtransactions, like Korey had said before, it's just like microtransactions on Duel Links, making more money than printing cards.
Facts.
Adding a digital code to a pack is a lot cheaper than printing 10,000 copies of a card.
Right.
Now they're going to be pushing on, like, in game, like that game that's got coming out now.
Master Duel?
So, like, yeah, I'm like, with programs like that coming out, it's just like, there might be a decline on cardboard print. But,
Yeah, like so. Yeah, like if you look at Pokemon, like it's the largest multimedia franchise in the world, but like you look at their TCG, like not you would think it would be bigger. You would think like this would be a lot more of a bigger scene. It's just not. Part of that's like the way the game's designed, but then you also have to think like the fan base, like they have way too many options. Like even their VGC format, like you got people showing up for that stuff, but you don't have people traveling like to grind VGC. You know what I mean? It's like
If you do, it's like a few people.
there's a few people and they're really good at it. They do it day in and day out, and like
Yeah.
but like you're like, well, hold on a second, like, and I just think like with Yu-Gi-Oh, they've had like one format, like one way to play forever, and so like yeah, that's gonna be something they have. Like if they invest real hard in the Master Duel stuff, I think it is gonna hurt IRL just a little bit.
I would never swap IRL cards, especially if I have to pay
I don't know.
for cards.
I think there are going to be a lot of people that the convenience of just playing it and just staying at home and not having to go to locals and stuff for all the people that like getting to locals is already hard enough for them. It may be I mean I can't get to locals, but I can at least do this, and still be, But the issue is they both cost money, and so then people have to make a choice: do I spend money on this, or do I spend money on this? Where before they had never had to make that choice, really, because Duel Links is not. Yeah.
But it also does. It opens a platform to more worldwide play.
That's true too. The hope is, yeah.
Because that's what remote duels did. Like, what's that one guy? That
Octavio.
Yeah, the Hispanic guy, Cuban guy, a Colombian guy. I can't remember his name.
Andres.
He's talking about it. He was just like, that he loves remote duels because he doesn't care where the remote duel is being hosted. He can play from the comfort of his house and get the same benefits as he would get to a regional or a YCS, and still do great. So it's just like, I'm like, all right, for players like that, it's just like, well, we no longer have to buy a plane ticket. Like for Pasadena, it's just like, okay, we no longer are paying for a hotel. We're no longer paying for food. We're no longer paying for a flight. Because my flight was like $3 and change, plus a $78 for $28 for the insurance. So I'm like, all right, I paid for the insurance just in case anything happened. I'm like, whatever. Then they refunded me my whole ticket. But then Korey was saying that like his Pasadena tickets were charge him like $200 each to get the refund.
That's with insurance.
I'm like, bro,
God.
stupid.
Yo,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's wild. I sent an email to Delta. I got my whole refund. I got the whole fucking thing. And all I had to do was say, I didn't even get credit. Like they put money back on my card. And then the same thing with the hotel. I just called them, talked to someone on the phone, and the same thing. Like I got lucky, but yeah, like there's so many people that are just out right now with like, I'm just like, that's tough. Like that for some people that's gonna be enough where they're like, I'm not doing it. Like I'm not to events. If that's what they're gonna do to me. Like lost a lot of trust.
Like Ryan, like you just meant like for me, that's like that was a trigger for me to like unless like once go like I'm not doing a YCS until everything is like 100% going to surely fire, right? Like I'll do regionals, that's fine because regionals they're close by. We don't have to invest all this money, but like this experience in itself was enough for me to be like, nah, I'm not. I'm extremely hesitant to go through it again because like. Not having, like you mentioned, like not having $300-400 in your bank account, like that's big, that's a lot of money that you can be using towards other really important things, So that really did suck.
On average, I think per person, let's say hotel, flight, food, entry, and then transportation from LAX, you're looking at about $1,000.
Oh, $1,000?
Think about it. So you're looking at about $300 for hotel. Like $300-400 for your flight. That's $700.
That's assuming you're not splitting, right? Okay, got it.
No, it's just even in splitting because my
hotel
was $220.
It was $220. It was $220
for the hotel. Plus, like my flight. Can't remember my exact flight.
My flight there.
It is close. It's close to Iraq. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. So, but then you got about $150 Uber ride from LAX to Pasadena, and $150 back. Not including your food, not including entry, not including snacks that you're going to buy at the event.
Tony needs at least one hooker. I mean, yeah.
Right? Just like one for the night. Like, I mean, they got to have a good night.
Yeah. Tony needs at least 12 lemon pepper wings.
I meant to keep this. Yeah.
I'm gonna need wings like when I'm there. You know what I mean? Like,
you got this place called Wooden Nickel in Hillsboro. They got crazy wings.
Is that the little shack?
No.
Oh,
you're thinking Buffalo. You're thinking Heavenly Buffaloes.
That one, bro.
But no.
It's pretty good too.
And obviously I am kind of on the short end of my stick with Pasadena because like neither of the airlines refunded my tickets. The hotel refunded, but like that was like a third of the cost because I was paying for 3 people to go, myself, Tanya, and Tobias, and then like like the really crappy thing is like.
Where'd you call him?
No, I booked it through my credit card, and my credit card it called them. So, but it's kind of like you know what it is because like we have until the end of the year. We're planning on going to Vegas, like obviously regionals, but if like down like in like 6 months or 4 months, if they announce another YCS or something like that, I can use the travel credit for that, whatever.
They'll do one in Chicago or Atlanta for sure. Like they have.
Yeah. And then, but like for me, like the big reason why I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh is because of the social aspect. Like when for example, when I went to NAWCQs in Texas, like I didn't even have an invite because I just started playing again. But my friends were like, "Yo, come and do LCQs." So I went and did LCQs. I got second both my LCQs, and then I just went ahead and did a regional flight, so I had my invite for the next year. And then after that, we all basically just like sold cards to like hit up the vendors. Like I was like flipping the entry dice like it was nobody's business. And then like after the event, we all went and like ate at like a really nice like 4-star steakhouse. Like spent like $100 on a plate of food, and that's part of like the experience for me. And like that's the thing I'm ready to do again. Is like I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I like playing locals. I like traveling an hour to do like a case event, maybe 2 hours to do a regional, 3 hours to do a regional. But like the big events where like since I've moved a lot, like when I was talking to my boys, like I have friends that like my friend Jack, he's big in the luxury community. Him and his team were coming from Boston. My old team from Colorado, what they were coming. So I was about to have like, like 12 to 20 of like my Yu-Gi-Oh homies that I've been friends with for like 6 to 12 years, and they were all going to be there. We were all going to hang out. Like I was like, it's about to be a good old time, and like now it's kind of LA said no, so no, and.
Well, the thing is, that's what YCS is always offers. Just like this, like you go to this big event, and you build like the friendships that you build at bigger events are kind of weird because like you may have like social interactions through like Zodiac or social trade groups or even on dueling book test groups, whatever it may be. Like I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember he's from Canada and he plays Chamber. Oh,
dude, that's so cool.
He plays Chamber, and he's a vendor. So a lot of the times he'll go ahead and come up only to YCSs. So whenever I see him, I would always trade with him. But bro, I quit playing since Texas, and now you have stuff like that. So like everything being canceled sucks, and it kind of puts everybody on one of those like
foul mood, bro.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Like it's like people just don't feel like they can trust Konami to make any decision. Like, I mean, they didn't like remote duels, so they're like, well, I'm just gonna wait until IRL comes back, and then they finally announce IRL, and then they pull the plug last minute on all those people. I mean, that's so many people that are just like
2,000 people.
2,000 people. Bro.
I saw somebody like I saw a thread where people were just like selling so much of their stuff. Like one guy was just like, anyone that wants to just rage quit, sell all their cards. I mean, because think about it, bro. Like all of those vendors, like that were gonna be
They've been loading up. They've been loading up for it.
Yeah, it's just it's tough. I mean, yeah, because a lot of these shops they've been selling. They've been selling all of their inventory over the past few months just to make ends meet because there's no IRL like vending stuff like that. So they're finally getting a chance to like, recoup, get some more. I don't know. I'm thinking like about Alex Bradshaw with Grandmaster games, and like I remember, bro, like he would like I asked him one time about them buying cards, and you know it's just the reason why he gets the reason why he wins so much at these events is because it's it's worth his time, and so like if you don't have that as a part of your I don't know. Yeah, your income, like, and that's where it comes from, like, from the top down. I mean, those are the guys getting cards to other people. I mean, that's just one instance, but, like, every single card shop's like that, man. Like, so it's like, I hate it for the players. I hate it for the vendors. I hate it for, like, I don't know. I also hate it for Konami. Like, like, obviously they don't want this to happen, too. They don't want their player base to die.
They knew California was going to be strict. Like,
Right.
They knew going into it. But
why did they pick California for the first? You know what I mean? But it's like they have
their headquarters is there.
Right.
Their headquarters is in Pasadena, next to a sewage facility. Like maybe that's why they're full of shit.
shit. But I don't know.
It kind of sucks. Hopefully,
It definitely sucks.
If the first regional's able to fire off, I'm already high for it. I'm not gonna get my hopes up right now. I'm just gonna be excited to play locals on Saturday. So
right.
Yeah.
That's all that's in our power.
Right, until Brave, we're chilling, bro.
He said it's so brave.
I just
trying
want
not to leave my team high and
another,
dry anymore.
Thing that's kind of like the nail in the coffin was like, bro, there's an anime convention this weekend in Pasadena with a 6,200 person attendance.
You're
62 this weekend.
You're lying.
Serious, so serious. And then we got that, and then like a lot of the players too, like a lot of the players that were able to get refunds, they're just buying new tickets. And like I think there's like a PPG like cash tournament or something in Florida that a lot of like pro players are flying into Miami and Orlando instead. And so it's like,
bro, that fucking hurts, bro.
People are salty, bro.
The neg, bro.
It's such a neg.
Like,
I would not. You cannot pay me to go to Florida though. Right now, I'm sorry.
you are. I don't.
maybe
I would not.
No, it's risky, bro. Florida's crazy right now, bro.
Florida is just like the sewage of the United States.
I mean, there's some quality people in Florida, but bro, like their numbers are crazy with Omicron.
Yeah.
Where in Florida?
but that was like the nail in the coffin for me. That kind of like just like made it hurt a little bit more. Was like, sure, like I could deal with the money loss. Like that's not like it is what it is. Like
Nah, fuck that. Give me my money.
Like at first it sucks because it's like cool. Like that was a K that I could have for ulti droplets or something. But like now it's just like locked up, and if COVID goes away, I can travel kind of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that was like my biggest thing when I was like talking to him. I was like, yo, I was like, so you're telling me I have until November 14th to use this travel credit, but like what if like we get Zonicron or some shit, and like now we can't travel until next year. Like, then what? Like, so I don't know. But that's all. I'll stop soapboxing.
It sucks, bro. I was genuinely looking forward to that event.
Bro, I'm pumped for regionals.
Me too.
Like,
super stoked.
if it was gonna feel like it was gonna go back to normal.
I mean, we're on track. Unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah.
Regionals.
When do regionals fire off? What's the first one?
I think it's in March.
I'm pretty sure it's in March.
13th is Richmond.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Is that the one Haasman was posted about earlier? I know he posted one earlier.
Yeah, he's looking for judges.
That's for judges, yeah.
But we can go ahead and cut it there, Boyd, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
So close to 11. This has been our longest episode yet. It was a good episode though.
Yeah, we were going off.
Yeah. All right, sweet.
So Saturday, I don't know, start watching. Saturday we're doing the Trishula Fusion Winamax. It's gonna be You guys want to do 5 or 10 entry for 2 OTS packs?
$10.
We'll do $10 entry for 2 OTS packs. And there will be a pack and a half per person thrown into the pool. 2 packs per person thrown into the pool. First place will get the winner mat, and then some random buddies gonna get the other mat.
The mat's fire too. I can't front.
And then the weekend after is gonna be the case for case tournament for Grand Creators. So I'll go ahead and post those up if you guys are listening. The deck list will go out Wednesday. Usually Monday, I feel like the internet gets flooded with every weekend deck list from the previous weekend. So I'm thinking just to do it in the middle of the week to kind of give somebody like a middle of the week content. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, sweet. Well, we'll see you guys on next week's episode. Thanks for being here.